I don't know what to say, really.
Fucking Roethlisberger, the quarterback, was all fucking hug it, chug it, football all night.
I know football. What you did with those boys. You were the right man for the job, coach.
You're Hall of Fame in my book.
Now, let's analyze what's been working for us. Not a goddamn thing's been working for us. Like this goddamn suit doesn't work for me. And this stinking tie, and this goddamn shirt, it doesn't work for me.
I'll tell you why you don't have your $10 million yet. 'Cause right now, you are a paycheck player. You play with your head, not your heart. In your personal life, heart. But when you get on the field, it's all about what you didn't get, who's to blame, who underthrew the pass, who's got the contract you don't, who's not giving you your love. And you know what? That is not what inspires people.
This is your opportunity
For
here.
you. Playing football at West Canaan may have been the opportunity of your lifetime. But I don't want your life.
I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that itch. And I know if I'm gonna have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that itch. Because that's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face.
You know how to play winning hard-nosed football? You play football like a Gennaro played football. A guy who gave his life for this football team. He was a 140-pound halfback, and he played like a goddamn wild man. No, like a goddamn rampaging beast. And that's the way you gotta do it. You go out there, you tear their fucking heads off, and you shit down their necks. Let us pray.
I'll see you in L.A.
No heart. No heart? I'm all heart, motherfucker!
Utah.
Wow.
Give me 2.
Swear words. What's up, everybody? Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's. We're live here. It's Mikey V and Mikey G coming at you strong. Palazzo Podcast, Fantasy Football, Week 7, Week 6 review, Week 7 preview, waiver wire action, trades. Let's do it. Live chat is yours. Always will be until the end of time. Lock that in. Mike, it's Palazzo Podcast. It's you and me back
Utah.
together like we were meant
Give
to
me
be.
2.
How you doing?
We are back, baby, man. It's been kind of up and down. You were sick one week, I was sick another week, right? So it's just that time of the year where people get sick. So glad to be back. Feels good. I'm glad that we did our week 6 Sunday show, and I'm glad to be doing the week 7 preview show. So it feels good, man.
Feels good. That's right. So drop your questions and such in the live chat. It's open for you. You know, week 7 is a time where you can do the same thing you did in week 6 or the same thing you did in week 2. If it's been working for you, stick with what you know. What has been working for you this year, Mike? I don't know what's been working for me because I feel like I have an idea of what's going on and I'm not in a bad place. So I'm just kind of where I need to be right now.
Well, I started off hot in a lot of my leagues, and I have kind of fallen back down to earth. I ran into some bad luck in a couple weeks. Fantasy football, unlike any other fantasy sport, is a fickle bitch. When you feel like you got it, you feel like you're on the verge of victory, and then somebody comes out and just kind of shits down your neck. So it happens, right? That's fantasy football. But at the same time, too, it's a long season. You got to grind it out, and especially with the bye weeks coming, which we talked about on Sunday's show. Apocalypse hell, week 7 bye. It's one of those things too where you got to adjust, you got to pivot, and this is the fun part of fantasy football, in my opinion. So it kind of scrambling to find guys on the waiver, find guys that on the waiver wire, find guys that you can plug into your lineups. That may not be your ideal starting lineup, but you got to make it work. So
that's correct. This is the Palazzo Podcast. You got to make it work, whether you're playing fantasy football, PPR, non-PPR, you're the best ball, you're the super flex, whatever league you are working on, you have to make sure that you still do your homework. Or maybe you draft so well that your team's just perfect and there's no mistakes whatsoever and you've never sucked at all, not one bit.
We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down.
Maybe.
We couldn't run the ball.
Yeah.
We didn't try to run the ball.
Yeah.
We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked.
Who sucked the most this past week, would you say?
Man, Kirk Cousins really laid a dud. I thought he was going to be in a smash spot. I know he didn't have Jordan Addison, but I really thought the Vikings would be in a good spot to kind of crush Chicago. And then secondly, for me, Bijan Robinson did not do well. So those are my two duds of the week. So
pretty Dudley. Yeah, lots of duds going on there. The live chat's open, like we said, and we got Hanson Huang. I don't know how to say your last name. Hopefully I'm not butchering it. If I am, I'm probably not the first. Life goes on. I'm sorry. You know, you're going to have your feelings hurt in this life. I've had my feelings hurt many times, and I understand your pain. Either way, subscribe, like the video, be a part of things so we can become friends. I'd like to get to know you, Hanson. Bijan or ETN rest of the season? That's the no-brainer for me. ETN.
Yeah, ETN for me too. And dynasty formats give me Bijan, but for this season, definitely Travis Etienne. The guy looks like an absolute stud. Bijan's got too much Tyler Algier and too much fuckery going on in Atlanta between Desmond Ridder and the head coach over there. They brought it up in the telecast. I'm going to go on a small rant. BTC, Arthur Smith vom. Yeah, I assume you mean vomit. That's exactly what this offense is. Desmond Ridder sucks. Needs to get out of that offense. Give the ball to Taylor Heineke. It can't be much worse than Desmond Ridder. But not to mention, too, they brought it up in the telecast, too. I'm pretty sure it was a Falcons broadcast. I was watching Red Zone. They brought up why Bijan is not on the field enough, right? And the guy said, the lead announcer said, well, they're trying to manage his workload. They're not trying to let him do too much. And he goes, we're past that. It's the fourth quarter. Get his ass in the game. Not ass, you know what I mean? But get him in the game. You got to play him. You got to win this game. He cannot be on the bench. He's your best player. So the broadcast knows it. Fans know it. Why the hell is this guy not playing? He was drafted number 4 overall. This is not a Jahmyr Gibbs situation. This is Bijan Robinson. Get this boy in the backfield. Get him running the football. Damn you, Arthur Smith. Damn you.
I don't know, man. Maybe he's not there right now. Look at the week to week. 13 carries, 37 yards. That's shit. 14 carries the week before, 46 yards. He's this explosive legend who's fresh and young and ready to go. He's getting carries. It's not like he had single digit carries. He had 13 carries. And outside of week 2 and week 4, they've all been pretty lame. He's catching some balls, which helps people in PPR leagues, but Bijan is not giving people what they deserve. So you want him on the field, but he's not giving Arthur Smith necessarily a reason to be like, I got to have this guy in the field. I know he could break one at any time, but
he's a playmaker. Like I said, I think he's their best player. I think Tyler Algier for me is a guy that you use on short yardage work and maybe the goal line situations where he can hit it between the tackles. He's probably a little bit better than Bijan, at least this year, until Bijan kind of gets his feet wet in the NFL. But still, it's been frustrating as a Bijan guy. You probably drafted this guy in the first round if you own him, and he just hasn't delivered yet. So,
well, I'm working on my rankings. Mike sent me his rankings. I see it in my email, so he's ready to post, and I'm almost done. I'm just finishing up wide receivers, and then I'll be done. So if you're on our Patreon, just for $3, we had 2 patrons join this week. Very exciting times for us. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're going to give you what you deserve with our weekly positional rankings. There's multiple Google Sheets, every position, player notes, buys included, matchups. All of it is week to week, and it's all for you. The Palazzo Podcast Patreon, 2 L's, 2 Z's.
Utah.
Starts with 3 bones. So
Give me 2.
I'll make sure that's posted tonight for you patrons. And if you want to be a patron, it's never too late. It's never too late.
That's putting it mildly.
We'll go back to Brian here. He said this. What's up, Brian? Good to see you, buddy. I'm super frustrated that I gave up on Adam Thielen after week 1. Super flex and San Francisco and Rams backfield is going to be plug and play this weekend. Adam Thielen. Yeah, he's a monster. He's a fantasy stud now.
I have him in 4 of my 6 leagues, and I'm glad I held on to him. He's just soaking up targets.
If you're talking about the Rams backfield, Kyron Williams not going to play this week. He'll be out. And the backup, Ronnie Rivers, hurt his PCL. He'll be out. So that means it is Zach Evans' season. And I have Zach Evans on at least 3 leagues where he was just sitting there on my bench waiting for this moment because I prefer him because I prefer him first to Ronnie Rivers, okay?
That's putting it mildly.
But then I also knew that Kyron Williams might not hold up. And he's a good back. He had 158 yards against Arizona. He looked great. but he got hurt. And that was my main concern. And that's why I was picking up Evans here and there, trying to pick up these guys that I think might get a shot, not just because they're on the depth chart, Mike, but because the main guy might be an injury risk, or there's another reason. Maybe I'm thinking that person could be in trouble. So that's what I was doing there. And now I'm sitting pretty with Zach Evans in a nice matchup against the Steelers. They're not a great defense. I'm not worried about it.
Round of applause for stashing Zach Evans there from Michael Govio.
Good job.
Good job.
All right, and then Ben was. Go ahead.
This just in though. What's this? The Rams also just signed Michael Govier to their practice squad as well. The Rams have been signing people left and right between. They brought Royce Freeman up from the practice squad.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Who else did they sign today?
I don't
people
know.
in the live chat, let me know. They signed like 2 or 3 guys today. It's crazy. But they're all washed up running backs. So I don't know what Sean McVay's thinking. Maybe they think they're going to run 5 running backs out there this weekend. Who the hell knows? But it wouldn't surprise me. Yep.
Yeah. Valvez BT. By the way, what's up, Valvez? By the way, BTW. Good to see you here. One of our Twitch users. Oh, another Twitch user. Look at this. War Eagle. That's Auburn. War Eagle. Auburn Tigers. Why is it War Eagle if they're the Auburn Tigers, though? I never understood that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Should I trade Devontae Smith for Puka PPR? Oh, that's tough, man. That's real tough.
This might be a good opportunity to buy Puka Nacua after he laid a dud this weekend. I know Cooper Kupp soaked up a lot of targets, got the touchdown. And for those of you guys who own Puka and you thought that that Cooper wasn't going to come back in here and reclaim his role as wide receiver 1, come on. And maybe the hamstring was, maybe a concern of yours that we held on to Puka. I think this is a good buy low window for Puka Nacua. I don't know.
Dude.
I don't know if I'm ready to trade Devonta Smith for him. But in PPR, especially if it's full point PPR, I don't hate it. But they're both the wide receiver 2s in their respective offenses. I just prefer the Eagles over the Rams. But I don't know if you feel differently there, Michael.
That's a tough call. I don't know what to do. I really don't. Puka is a guy who's come in hot. Devonta Smith has proven himself. He's going to get more targets. I actually feel rest of season, Devonta Smith will get more targets than Puka will because Kupp is back and Kupp is great again. He's awesome. Make Cooper Kupp great again. No problem. Just needed a couple weeks to get going before he finally took off. So he's who he thought he was, and most people thought he was. Some people didn't think he was anymore, but Cooper Kupp's back now.
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were.
So I'm all about
they were.
I'm all about maybe getting off Puka a bit because as the season progresses, I'm worried about Stafford's health. And for Philly, I know it's Hurts, Devontae, AJ Brown, and Goddard. Goddard. That's how I say it. Yes, I like to say Goddard. Yeah. So those targets are going to be there, Mike. I think I'm going Devontae.
Yeah, I'm going Devontae as well. Again, it's close. It's really, really tough because I loved Puka and how all the targets he was soaking up when Cooper Kupp was out, but it's tough. So.
And Tutu Atwell's a good player too. It's just going to make it more complicated. You could say there's a triumvirate on both sides, like, Goddard, Smith, and Brown versus Puka, Atwell, and Mr. Kupp. And then there's also Higbee. I don't know. I'm going with Smith. I'm locking it in. Yeah, I'm going to lock it in now.
Hit it again for me. I need it locked in for me.
You want to get locked in? Jump in the live chat and let us know what you want to get locked in on. Brian says, brought back Daryl Henderson in the practice squad. Is this bullshit? Or is that a true story?
Nope, that's a true story. Yep, they brought Daryl Henderson back. That's the guy I was forgetting.
I drafted him a couple years ago. I thought he was going to be a super stud. It never quite happened, but
Steven Jackson,
he knows the offense. Steven Jackson's back. Oh shit! Josh is here. What's up, Josh? Welcome to the show. Make sure to subscribe and like. Remember, the Patreon starts at $3. Discord's free. Discord link is in the description. Everything you need to know, guys. You know how to use links. You know how to use YouTube. I don't have to explain this shit to you guys. Would you guys trade Josh Downs and Jonnu Smith for Jacoby Myers in a 20-man PPR? Also, would you trade Komet and okay, let's start with the first one. So Downs and Jonnu for Jacoby. I'm doing that. Jacoby. Yeah. Okay. You agree. Great. We move on from that.
100%.
Also, would you trade Komet and Shaheed for Mark Andrews?
100%. I'm doing that trade as well.
I'm not so sure I'm going to do that one.
I like the first trade better than I do the second trade if you're talking about not making it. So for me, that's a slam dunk. Cole Kmet's going to be without Justin Fields for who knows how long.
Yes, but that could be a good thing.
Yeah, but do you really trust their backup quarterback to get him the football is the key. Tyson
Bagent. Safety valves, backup tight ends. There's a time-honored tradition there. Hey, I'm the new guy in the pocket. I'm going to throw to my safety valve Kmet. That could be a good thing. And I'm kind of banking on that, actually. I have nothing to base that on other than that's what I'm feeling. But I know, you love the Ravens. You're a Ravens freak. And Mark Andrews is a great player, but I'm supposed to trust Lamar. He's going to get Mark Andrews, I don't know,
Fair.
6 more catches every week.
Fair. But I think Mark Andrews is a top 3, top 4 tight end rest of season, and I think that you're not even getting that. You're not even getting top 10 value with Kmet. And Shaheed for me is a boomer bust touchdown dependent guy. So
you're right. You're not wrong.
Yeah,
you're not wrong. In fact, Andrews is the safer play. That's true.
Yeah. So I'm making both of those trades. Again, if you're trading Josh Downs and Jonnu for Jacoby, slam dunk. And if you're trading Kmet and Shaheed for Mark Andrews, also doing that. So you're now acquiring Jacoby Myers and Mark Andrews for Josh Downs, Jonnu Smith, Cole Kmet, and Shaheed. 100%. Those guys you're plugging right away.
I'm supposed to trust Derek Carr.
Great job.
No, not at all. BT says Devontae Smith, 2 big boomer busts for me. Okay, well, maybe, hurts. You never know. Sometimes he threw a terrible pick late in that game against the Jets. It was awful. A.J. Brown's eating right now after first 2 weeks. That's true. But the same targets are going to be there, I feel like. Philly signed Oh, yeah, that's right. So Julio Jones signed with the Eagles today. Who cares, right? Who cares at all?
No one gives a shit.
Not at all. Not at all. Julio Jones was with Tom Brady, and that didn't even really – it was already kind of over 2 years ago, frankly, so –
Mike Curlin mentioned it on Twitter today, too. He also mentioned and brought up that point. Shout out Mike Curlin, the king. Brought up this point, too, that he was a shell of his former self in Tampa Bay. I don't expect him. He's going to be 3rd or 4th in that pecking order, and he's probably not going to see a full complement of snaps at this age.
You're going to get out on your face and point out your faults.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fair. Ben, what's up, Benjamin? Benjamin, our main man, our prospects guru on the baseball side. He knows football, too. Ben played football, actually. He knows a thing or two about actual college football. Darrell Henderson and Myles Gaskin to the Rams. Honestly, I like Gaskin more, but Henderson has team system history. Okay, yeah. So maybe I got to slow my roll on my Zach Evans love a little bit, because all these stupid signings could just interrupt everything for me, and I'm pissed about it. Kyron likely put on IR, I think. Oh, okay. So you're expecting he's going to miss 4 games at least? That would be opening up more opportunities, that's for sure.
Well, think about it this way too. If Zach Evans is the only healthy running back on that roster, it makes sense to sign some of these guys, especially Darrell Henderson and Myles Gaskin. I think there are guys that can step in, but I do like Zach Evans the most of this group. I'm not expecting either of these guys to come in and steal the show. Maybe just to spell Evans though. So, by the way,
sounds like doom and gloom here.
Remember Zach Stacy for the Rams?
Sure, yeah. ZAC.
Yeah.
ZAC. Like Zach Gallen? Is that how Zach Gallen spells his name too?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think he does.
Yeah.
ZAC. I don't like it. Leo Ramos is here. Leo, great to have you in. Subscribe, like the video. You know the drill, my friend. Traded Puka for Devontae. Did I win? Fuck yeah, you did. It's Devontae Adams, man. I don't care who the quarterback is. Although maybe we should slow a roll, Mike. Raiders got quarterback problems. Brian Hoyer came in. Jimmy G had to go to the hospital for his back. Aiden O'Connell wasn't available. Maybe it's going to be tough times for Devontae Adams in Las Vegas.
I was going to say, now that you bring all that stuff up, because when I originally read this question, I'm like, same thing as you. Fuck yeah, you won that trade. But
Can't
at the
do
same
it.
time, too, with quarterback situation there in Las Vegas, I'm a little weary now. I think I would be 100% honest and candid here. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with Jimmy Garoppolo, if he's been cleared, if he's going to start this weekend or not.
I don't think it's totally up in the air right now. We have no idea if he's going to play against Chicago on the road. Nice matchup, but
I do like Aiden O'Connell a little bit more than Brian Hoyer.
Totally.
So if Aiden O'Connell's starting for this team when Jimmy G is out, then I still like this trade. But
well, O'Connell was out, and I don't know if he'll be available this week. A lot of unknowns in the Raiders quarterback situation, but it's Devontae Adams, so who cares? But Jacoby Myers has been a big threat to him this year. It's kind of interesting. So.
Yes, he's been fun to watch.
He is, absolutely. Yep. And I'm not a Jacoby Myers guy. You were more of a Jacoby Myers guy than I was coming into the season. So I've turned the corner on him. I'm down.
Yep.
He's also got Waddle, Olave, and Devonta. Okay, well, you got a billion wide receivers, dude. You're doing fine. Nothing to worry about there at all, Leo. Nothing to worry about whatsoever. Hey, guys. Charles in the house. What's up, Charles? Shout out to Charles. Fire up Deontay Johnson if he returns, or play Josh Palmer in full PPR and a flex situation. I expect Deontay will play this week. I think he'll be back against the Rams, and it's going to help that offense in Pittsburgh. But I still love Josh Palmer. I just can't quit him. He had 60 yards last night on 4 catches, I think. It wasn't a great outing. I thought he would score last night. I had a same-game parlay with Josh Palmer to score a touchdown at like plus 240, and it did not happen.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah. It's worth noting, too, Charles, you said if he returns to play, he did when he got asked last week. We talked about it on Sunday's show, too. By the way, check us out on Sundays, 10 a.m. Eastern, 10:30 for your start state questions.
Except this week, because we'll both be out of town.
Right, exactly. But he did say, quote unquote, hell yeah, I'll be playing in week 7. So I expect him to be there. Who knows how many snaps he sees with his first game back? Maybe they played safe with him.
I think he's fine.
I think he gets full complement of shares there. I'm still probably going Joshua Palmer here simply because of the fact that Raiders and Chiefs game should be a shootout in a division matchup. So I expect both those teams to put up some points. So
I think the Chargers are going to take it to him. Like the Chargers offense could outflank the Chiefs offense rather easily this season. So it'll be about the Chiefs defense, right? Like, because Dallas last night showed us, hey, we can play some D still against, to me, your boy Herbert, his worst game of the year.
Yeah.
And he was limited by that Dallas D. And I was really surprised because I didn't think that would happen.
Yeah. Well, again, it's a huge game for huge game for Dallas to come back and win that, or come into LA or San Diego, as you like to call them, and win that football game, especially after the ass whooping they got from San Francisco the following week. So kudos to Dak and the crew.
Ben says, I hear the Bears backup goes well with cream cheese.
Genius.
Maybe it's more of a baguette, though, than a bagel.
Yeah.
D's Nuts, my name is Jeff. What a name. Hey, Jeff. D's Nuts, my name is Jeff, says, trade Saquon and Goddard for Bijan. I have Darren Waller. You're giving up Saquon and Goddard for Bijan? No.
Yeah, that's a little too rich for my blood. And I know Waller hasn't been very good, but the delta between Darren Waller and Dallas Goedert for me is not very high to begin with anyway. So it really comes down to Saquon versus Bijan. If you watch Saquon play on Sunday Night Football versus the Bills, he looked
24 carries.
Yeah, looked damn good. And I prefer Saquon for sure over Bijan. I don't care what format you play in. Give me Saquon Barkley there. I know that offensive line is not great, but as we discussed earlier in the show, D's Nuts, Falcons are just not using Bijan Robinson, he hasn't been productive with the carries that he has been seeing. But Tyler Algier is very much a problem for Bijan Robinson. So
little trouble there.
But let me ask you this question, Michael. D's Nuts, maybe you can, or Jeff, whatever you go by. If you're in a dynasty format, would you make this trade?
If I was in a dynasty format, would I make this trade? Probably, yes. Because it's Bijan in Dynasty all day long. And Saquon's got, 2 years left before he's toast?
Yeah. So I'm probably making this trade in Dynasty. I agree with Michael. If it's redraft, I'm holding on to Saquon.
Okay. Lock it in. Look, I think this is not Johnny come lately or, hey, we're looking in tunnel vision right now. Bijan, he might even get more exhausted as a 17-week season drags on. It's longer than a college season. So I think for a redraft, I stand behind what I'm saying here, and I support Mike's opinion on this as well. So
there you go. Lock it in.
Booyah. What's next in the chat? You take over now. Switched.
Live chat is booming. Keep him coming, guys. He also writes, lost Richardson, Purdy, he's asking, he also lost Richardson. Would you prefer Purdy or Deshaun Watson?
Oh, Purdy all day. Deshaun Watson, I'm telling you, man, I don't know what's going on there, but it's very obviously not just about physical stuff. You can't go through everything he went through. Even if he was an ultimate sociopath, it still is affecting him because he had to go on and live his life. So weird shit's happening there with Deshaun. I know Purdy had a bad game against the, challenging Cleveland defense, which they're not bad. Cleveland defense is pretty good. So I'm willing to wipe that away and go fresh with Minnesota this week on the road. Purdy should be much better. Even though McCaffrey's out, it's actually going to be beneficial, I think, for Purdy's fantasy value. More opportunities to throw to the wide receivers and tight ends. He'll still dink and dunk, but I'm taking Purdy over Watson, and I'm pretty comfortable with it.
I'm with you on that 100% too. And there were reports over the weekend that he's got something seriously wrong with his shoulder. So,
again, bullshit, man. I'm telling you.
If you're looking to acquire one of these guys, Jeff, in a trade, and Michael alluded to too, there's a mental aspect of it as well. I don't
totally is.
I think Watson is cooked, to be 100% honest. Give me the guy who's, again, lost his first game as a starter in the regular season, and Brock Purdy with all of those weapons around him and Kyle Shanahan. It's Brock Purdy for me, and it's not close. So
It's a total conspiracy, dude. I'm telling you, weird shit's going on there. It's not physical as much at all. He was supposed to be ready to go coming out of the bye week, and then it's like, oh, no, he's dead again. What the fuck, man?
That's
conspiracy theories.
Yep.
Little trouble there.
George Play 01. What's up, man? Thank you for joining the show today. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Twitter, get in the Discord, all that good stuff. Patreon starts at $3. Make sure you like and subscribe. He says, hey guys, I have CMC. Some reports say he could play Monday. Who should I claim from these as a priority? Mason, Zach Evans, and Roschon Johnson. Real quick before we give our answers.
Oh, give it. Yeah, go ahead.
Adam Schefter did say CMC, Deebo Samuel, and Trent Williams all have a chance to play Monday night, and they're not considered long-term injuries. So he did tweet that out earlier today.
Okay, am I crazy? So McCaffrey didn't go to the IR today?
Mm-mm.
Where did I put that in my head? What the shit? I labeled that on today's show. CMC to the... Oh, I was supposed to put a question mark. That's what I screwed up the title as. CMC to the IR question mark. That's not what it says. So now I'm... Oh, boy. We're screwed. I screwed us up. People are going to go on YouTube and be like, what? He's not on the IR, you liars. I got to put a question mark in there.
Maybe we'll get some clicks. Who the hell knows?
We don't act like that. We're above that.
Right. Anyways, Michael, who are you taking of this group here between Mason, Zach Evans, and Roschon Johnson?
Guys, Roschon Johnson's in trouble here. I really think he is. Darrington Evans had 9 carries. Darrington Evans, the former Titan, he had 9 carries for the Bears on Sunday. It was Dante Foreman who led the way with 15 carries. Then it was Darrington Evans. So I think Roschon Johnson, even if he's healthy and ready to go and gets out of concussion situation, there's a real problem brewing for him in playing time. He's going to have to earn it back, and I don't know if they trust him right now. And I think they really like Evans here, who could even usurp Mr. Foreman. So more than Zach Evans. There's 2 Evans this week. There's Darrington Evans, there's Zach Evans. And I think I'm starting to realize I like Darrington more than I like Zach. And that's bad news for Roschon Johnson. So I'm going Zach Evans, and I also think Eli Mitchell's the guy, not Mason. Shanahan loves to mess with us with these running back situations. When it gets cloudy and murky in running back land in San Francisco, Shanahan loves to screw with you.
Little trouble there.
So I'm still believing that Eli Mitchell will be the guy who gets a lot of carries. But I have no idea. Jordan Mason could still be the man too. Who knows?
Yeah, 100% there. And Eli Mitchell, again, if he's healthy and he's playing, he's the guy I prefer over Mason 100%. So Mason is the bigger back. I think Mitchell is fits better into this offense and more CMC like. I wouldn't say that Mason is that kind of guy. He's the heavier back. He's a guy that's going to be able to maybe get some red zone carries there. So I think both will be used, but I prefer Eli Mitchell 100%. Roschon Johnson, I agree with Michael's take on that as well. He's going to have to earn that playing time back. Between Evans and then also Deontay Foreman, I think it's going to be a 3-headed monster there, especially with the quarterback situation in Chicago. They may choose to lean on the run a little bit more and utilize all 3 backs. So
you like that? You like that?
I don't know if I like it, but that's probably the truth. So
that's putting it mildly.
Zach Evans is the priority ad for me here of this group here, George. Appreciate the question, brother.
Good call.
Yep.
Darrington Evans, guys. I'm telling you. Pick him up.
Ben says some running backs are 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Zach Stacy was a handoff in a cloud of dust.
Didn't Zach? I think Zach Stacy had a lot of problems. I think he went to Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati, but then he had some issues in life. And life happens to everybody. Okay, so Oh, BTC says Saquon's gonna explode. You gotta like that, don't you? You like that? You do.
I love
it. You like that? You like that?
No, I love it. I don't like it. I love it.
Can't do it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do it, but he likes it. Next.
George says, should I trade Jalen Warren for Jahmyr Gibbs? Noting that my boy David Montgomery is going to quote unquote miss some time with a rib cartilage injury.
You know, this has always been a problem for Montgomery. I mean, you're right about his ability behind this offensive line, but even in Chicago, he's missed time. He couldn't stay on the field enough, and we had to fill in the gaps when he was a Bear in our fantasy lineups too, once upon a time.
Yep.
And
if you guys read my preview article, I did mention this. The only concern of mine going into this year was never the talent. It's the fact that the guy is always injured and always has something going on. He had that quad bruise not too long ago, and now dealing with this rib cartilage injury. I'm going to bet they're going to keep him out. They have a week 10 bye. I guarantee they'll keep him out this week, week 8, week 9, and he'll come back week.
Little trouble there.
All right. We're going to lock in on that. I'm taking Gibbs because I trust the O-line way more. Monty's out. Also, guys, if he's still available, you got to pick up Cam Reynolds, who's the other Reynolds in Detroit. Right? Is it Cam?
Craig.
Damn it. Too many Reynolds on that team, on my Bozo Lions. Josh Reynolds, Craig Reynolds. Yes, pick up Craig Reynolds if he's still available. I assume a lot of people were already picking him up because Gibbs was out the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But Jaylen Warren, even if he was the man, I just don't trust that Pittsburgh offensive line like I trust that Detroit O-line. In fact, it's not close.
Yeah, for me, it's the same. I'm the same with you there. Although I do have an unpopular take. I actually think their roles are going to be very similar. Craig Reynolds is the guy to own over Jahmyr Gibbs, even with Jahmyr Gibbs healthy, because Craig Reynolds is going to slide into that David Montgomery take. I know all you Jahmyr Gibbs truthers are going to be jumping on my ass here in a second.
Yeah.
I know we want to see him. Craig Reynolds profiles as a guy that they're going to use between the tackles. He's the David Montgomery type back, and they're going to use Gibbs' role is not going to change. He's going to be the change of pace guy in that offense. So I still prefer Gibbs over Warren if you want to make that trade, especially if in dynasty formats. But Craig Reynolds, like Michael alluded to, needs to be owned. So
Craig, damn! That's a Friday tribute. Craig, that's Ice Cube's character. Remember?
Yep. Craig and Day Day.
Craig. Running back snaps. So Jamar's missed the last 2 weeks. No Gibbs the last 2 weeks. When Gibbs was available and Monty wasn't in week 3, Gibbs was 60%. Reynolds was 30%. And then, of course, Zonovan Knight's still on the team, so we can't dismiss him technically. He got 9% of the – no, he got no snaps last week. So it's tough to tell from this, but Craig Reynolds getting the workload once Monty went out against a tough Tampa Bay run defense last Sunday means that Mike's right. Craig Reynolds is Montgomery light. If it was, wait, so who originally Montgomery was taking over for Swift, and then someone else was Swift light? That was Jahmyr Gibbs, a Swift light, and then Montgomery is out. So now Reynolds is Montgomery light. There's too many lights here. I can't keep track of it all. So.
Wow, dude.
Zonovan Knight is actually out for the season.
Oh, he is? Shit.
Yeah.
I probably have that in my rankings, and I just keep, my job takes up a lot of brain space, guys. And so just give me a forgiveness. Give me a forgiveness pill, please.
You are forgiven, sir.
Let's get to Henry Gibson next.
Trade Trevor Lawrence, CeeDee Lamb,
Hey,
Hollywood
Henry.
Brown for Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith. I'm stacked at wide receiver with Diggs. I assume you mean AJ Brown and Cooper Kupp. Holy shit. Yeah, you are.
Is your name Henry for real, by the way? You think his name's really... Have you ever met a Henry in real life? Like, truly?
No.
I don't think I have.
Yeah.
I don't think you're the first. If you're Henry Gibson for real, you're the first Henry I've ever met. This is amazing. Congratulations, Henry. All right.
I want to ask a question with a question, if I could. Yeah. How in the hell do you have CeeDee Lamb right now, Stephon Diggs, AJ Brown, and Cooper Kupp all on the same team? That's insane.
Can't do it.
It's got to be an 8-man league or less, 8-person league, probably.
Yeah.
So trade Lawrence, CD, Hollywood for Hurts and Devonta. Because you still have Diggs, AJ, and Kupp. Sure, why not? You get Hurts and Devonta. That's a great combo. Yeah. T-Law hurt his knee, but he's going to be fine. I don't think it's that serious for Trevor Lawrence. We don't have to worry about that. I love CeeDee Lamb, though. I don't want to give him up. I think he's the second best wide receiver in football now, outside of Mr. Tyreek Hill.
You have him over Jamar Chase as well?
I do. Yep.
There you go.
He's number 2 in my rankings. He was before...
Go Tigers.
Oh, go Tigers. No, wrong sport. Oh, football Tigers. There's no NFL Tigers. There's college football Tigers. Anyways, I had CD as one of my top 3 receivers all season, no matter what was happening. Obviously, when Justin Jefferson got hurt, I moved CD up to number 2. Give me 2, Utah.
So, give me 2.
Thanks, Henry. Make it happen. You're living large, Henry. You got no problems.
I was going to say, it's a good problem to have, man. Charles
asked, Fournette?
Where do you think Fournette ends up? I think Leonard Fournette is done, unfortunately. I don't see him going anywhere.
Okay, I'm assuming if he hadn't signed by now, he's out this year. But at the same time, maybe he wanted to wait as long as possible to save up his legs, and a team might give him a shot. It seems unlikely, but maybe it still happens. So I'd say 20% chance he might end up somewhere. But where that'll be, that's going to depend on the injury situation.
Turn the page. I have no interest in Leonard Fournette. So
next,
BTC can't get a top tier running back instead of one of those wide receiver. Oh, he's talking to Henry. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I would be looking
to do their side chat. Great.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for, guys. Go to town.
Clap nuts. What's with all the nuts usernames?
Clap
You guys
nuts.
we got these nuts, clap nuts. Which side wins?
trouble there.
Mike Evans and Deshaun Watson for Calvin Ridley and T-Law. Which side of those do you like?
You like that? You like that?
Ridley and T-Law. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ridley and T-Law.
I'm Ridley and T-Law there
Yep.
too, just because we already talked about Watson. We're not in on Deshaun Watson here. Clap nuts. We don't want him.
No.
Can't do it. Hit the can't do it button. Can't
See?
have Deshaun Watson.
By the way, I was hoping
Can't do
your
it.
brother would be here tonight because I know Mike Evans had 10 targets. You know, it just didn't work out, but the process was sound, and I don't regret it. It just, I don't know how he catches 3 or 4 balls on 10 targets, but the Lions D, I gave you shit on Sunday. I'm like, you sure you want to start the Lions defense? Boy,
played well.
It's insane. I can't even fathom what the hell's going on with. I am so ingrained with misery in Detroit Lions for decades that it's hard for me to compute. Officially, nobody can trust me when it comes to Lions right now. My opinion should not be even allowed to be given on any Detroit Lions shit because I don't get it right now. I'm in an alternate reality.
We forgive you. You probably have so many calluses built up on your heart from just Detroit, just constantly breaking and letting you down. So we get it. But
I was in total denial. Yeah,
we're slowly starting to break down the walls here a little bit and understand that the Lions actually have a really, really good chance of being a contender in not just their division, but also in their conference as well. So
Bye, Felicia.
It's hard to believe, but you're right. They could actually be a 1 seed in the NFC this year. It's crazy. It's totally crazy. I guess all these other years were just practice for the ultimate 2023 season.
We talking about practice.
Maybe not. I don't know. So,
yeah.
Next.
Out of Rhythm Sports, I believe this is Jamie. Go out, stash Malik Nabbers in all your leagues.
No. He's still in college. We're moving on. Malik Neighbors still plays for LSU. You can't stash a guy if he's not even in the draft pool, Jamie.
BTC, buying Gibbs all day. He will pick it up in the second, or pick up the load in the second half.
That's been BTC's contention in the live chat all season. He believes in the analytic numbers that show his ability to break tackles and get more yards after contact. I'm not against Gibbs. I just want to see him really. I'm willing to ride with Gibbs still. I just want to see him do it like a big game. That's all. Just give me something big.
Yeah, that offensive line is great. Like I said, I just don't think Craig Reynolds, and I think Dan Campbell came out and said it. If you guys haven't seen it in the press conference, he did label Jahmyr Gibbs as the quote unquote change of pace back. Who knows what that looks like now that David Montgomery's hurt? But I think Craig Reynolds, which by the way, awesome block that he had on that Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown, which was super cool to watch.
That was so badass. But yeah, Gibbs did it 3 weeks ago, 17 carries. So he's been given the load when Montgomery was out last time. I'm down. I'm willing to believe in Gibbs. I am not against him. I want that to be clear.
Yeah, I'm not against him either. I just, like I said, well, yes,
you're making sense.
I'm a Gibbs hater. I'll admit it. Next question we get here from Eric's. I think that's how you say your name. Welcome to the show, man. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new here. But like having you, make sure you join us on Sundays, 10 a.m. Eastern. Feel free to ask as many questions as you want.
You like that? You like that?
Hopefully he likes it. Yeah. Like the video, guys. Come on. You like that?
Little trouble there.
I love it. I don't like it. I love it. Team is all right. So this is a long one. His team his quarterback is Cousins and Jordan Love. Running backs are Pollard, Swift, Achane, Javonte, Madison. Receivers are Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, Puka, Garrett, Collins. And then also tight end is Goddard, however you say
Goddard.
Trading Achane for Devonta Smith and Mark Andrews. What are your thoughts? I'm at a 3-3 record. Man, a lot of Mark Andrews questions today. And Devonta Smith.
Also, Tony Pollard last night. Was it 15 carries for 30 yards?
Yeah, what a stinker. He's actually been one of the biggest disappointments. Actually, I'm going to go on record and
he's been the
biggest disappointment in fantasy this year.
It's not. No need to be stunned, crowd. It's a fact, Jack.
Little trouble there.
Little trouble there. There's been a shitload of trouble. He has not been good this year at all. Dak Prescott's running in the touchdowns last night from 18 yards out. So it's just a different reality. It's not necessarily that Pollard hasn't had the opportunities either. So it's a total bust this season, but doesn't mean it's over. Obviously, it's clearly a buy low situation. If someone's sick of it, they will sell. But they also know that they drafted Pollard. The problem is when people put such high draft capital in a player, they will not give up. They're going to ride him until he finally turns it around. They're going to be stubborn about it. So it's going to be really tough to trade for Pollard, but it is a buy low situation for sure. But this team's great, man. I mean, I think Javonte is going to be trouble, even though he had a nice game in small doses against the Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday Night Football the week before last. But there's too many backs in the backfield for Denver. They got Jaleel, and they've got Samaje, and they've got Devontae. So he's never going to get a full load. I don't trust it, but your receivers are great. Your tight ends are great. The team looks good.
So are you making this trade then? Are you trading Achane and Devontae?
Well, was there a trade in there?
Yeah.
I thought we were just talking about his roster.
No, trading Achane for Devonta Smith and Mark Andrews. Would you make that trade?
Yes. Oh, hell yeah. Get off of Shane. He's a fraud. He can't stay healthy. He's super fast, but he can't stay healthy. This is a no-brainer. Do it now. Yep. Do it. What are you waiting for? Come on, do it.
Yeah. Not to mention, too, Raheem Mostert's not going away in this offense, and Jeff Wilson is only going to muddy the waters in that offense as well. Mike McDaniels loves him. So
I know. It's unreal, dude. Unreal.
Michael called that, by the way. Hit the applause button on Devon Achane. About him not being durable. So again, and that could always resurface as well. I just think there's so many mouths to feed in this Miami offense. I think this is a no-brainer for me. You get Devonta Smith, and you also get Mark Andrews, who's a upgrade from Dallas Goedert. So make that trade. I don't know about that, but yeah. Oh, okay. I think Mark Andrews is a tight end to own here in a buy low situation. Not because I'm a Ravens fan, only because, again, I think their schedule lightens up a little bit. Two, he's cleared the number one tight end in Baltimore. Number one target in Baltimore. You have to go get him as a buy low. Also looking to trade Calvin Ridley and Goedert for Breece Hall. Do you make that trade? If you're acquiring, if you're getting Devonta Smith and you're making that other trade, I like this trade as a replacement as your backup. I like Breece Hall a lot, so I'd be willing to make this trade.
Yep. I'm totally about Breece Hall. Dalvin Cook's toast. It's Breece Hall's show all day long. Even though the quarterback sucks in New York, the Jets will rely heavily on Hall and try to get as much as they can out of him. Even though most NFL offenses looked like shit this past weekend, it's a terrible product. I mean, but we're already committed. We can't just give up on our season now. We're all in our fantasy league, so we have no choice but to continue forth and watch Breece Hall try to run for 80 yards while Zach Wilson throws for 140 and Calvin Ridley underperforms and Goedert doesn't get enough touches because there's other receivers to feed. And then they got running backs. And of course, Hurts has to run. Oh man, fantasy football. You got to love it.
That's putting it mildly.
Like I said earlier in the show, fantasy football is such a fickle bitch and it kills me sometimes. It's very frustrating. Let me ask you this question real quick. Michael and I both play fantasy baseball, big fantasy baseball nuts. What do you think is a more frustrating sport? I know it's baseball is longer, but okay, football. We're on the same page. Yeah,
always was. In fact, I'm loving fantasy football more than I ever have, though. For some reason, that's probably just because I'm performing better this year than I did in baseball. That's the only reason. Otherwise, fantasy football will frustrate you to hell because all week long you wait for one moment, it doesn't come, and it can be random, and you only get that one chance per week from each team to do so.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
That's putting it mildly.
Very frustrating for me. So
look at this. Henry Rowengartner. Yeah, that's classic, man. Rookie of the year. Love that movie. Funky butt loving. Yeah, that's a classic. That's baseball, but still, it's fantastic. That's a great call. Yeah. That is one of the best Henrys ever. Of course, Oh Henry, the candy bar is delicious. And Henry Fool is an indie movie from the 90s that nobody has seen, so that doesn't count. But yeah, that's funny.
BTC also says Mike McCarthy just doesn't realize when you put the ball in CD's hands, good things happen. Yeah.
Funky butt loving. Did he say funky butt loving?
Oh, I got it. Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike BTC. A buddy of mine and I were talking about this in our live chat. We always joke around. He wasted Aaron Rodgers. He's wasting CeeDee Lamb too. Mike McCarthy sucks.
That's putting it mildly.
Yeah, I mean the Cowboys are a mess. Do you want to stay on? Because I'm gonna have to wrap up here and hit the road here.
Yeah, no problem. I'll stay on for a couple more minutes. Take a couple more questions. If you got questions in the live chat, drop them in here. I'll stay on for maybe 5 more minutes. But
yay! You guys are the best. Thanks everybody. I want to get my rankings done tonight. Mike's has his done ready to go, so we're gonna post them on Patreon. Starts at just $3. You get access to the rankings. We got football betting. We're going to have more stuff too. There's also DFS. If you're into DFS, I try to post DFS stuff for the primetime games, and that's my thing. So whatever you want, really, you just got to ask for it, and the Patreon can deliver it to you within reason, of course. You know, we are people who are not getting paid for this. We're trying to live our lives. I mean, the Patreon people pay, but I mean, we have 18 patrons. It's like $110 a month. So if I do 30 posts every day, per hour, I mean, I'm getting hosed. So you got to understand that I can't post things 7 days a week, which I think you do understand. But I feel like this is a one-way conversation because I'm not talking to somebody else. I'm just talking to the internet. My apologies. Thank you for being a patron. I'm not complaining. Yeah. I'm just not making any sense. Stop making sense.
Appreciate you, buddy. We'll see you on Sunday. Oh, no, we won't. We'll see you next Sunday.
That's right. We were both going to be out of town Sunday. Usually we do the Sunday morning show. So take advantage of this now with Mike. He'll give you a few more minutes of his time. Really cherish this, okay? Cherish it.
Here we go.
Funky butt loving. Did he say funky butt loving?
Oh, he did. Peace.
Yeah. All right, Charles, keeping us rolling here. Play the Raiders defense or Detroit Lions defense? Stout run defense against the run first Ravens. It's a good question, Charles. For me, I'm going with the Lions here. I know the Raiders played New England and everybody looks good against New England. But again, the Raiders personnel wise, I just can't trust it. Give me Detroit. I know that they have the harder matchup of the two, but I'm still going with the Lions here. They're on a roll. Lamar has not looked good recently either. So I'm going with him. Especially in a run-first offense like the Ravens are, if they're able to stop the run and force Lamar to throw, I like the Lions here. Give me the Lions, and it's not close. Super CNB Challengers, what's up, man? Thank you very much for joining the show and asking your question. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel here. We do Sunday shows every Sunday for a week, the week before kickoff. 10 a.m., 10:30 Eastern. We always do the Start Sit show. So if you're able to join us, not this weekend because Michael alluded to we're going to both going to be out, but join us every Sunday at 10:30. He asked, just got offered Hawkinson and Chris Olave for AJ Brown PPR. What do you think? I assume. Let me know in the live chat which side you're receiving. I assume you're getting Hawkinson and Olave, and you're giving up AJ Brown. It depends on the rest of your team. I hate being that guy, but I always like having the rest of a team as a context. If you need tight end and you're desperate for tight end, I like Hawkinson here. Chris Olave for me is obviously, no, it's not probably, it is. Prefer AJ Brown over Chris Olave. I just don't see a situation where you can train AJ Brown right now. Again, it depends on who the rest of your receivers are and also who your tight end is. He says his current tight end is Zach Ertz. And he's getting the Hawkinson side. Okay. That's a tough one, man. I like Chris Olave. I know Michael likes him a lot. I'm not as high on Chris Olave as Michael is, but give me the AJ Brown side here. I just like him so much better in this offense. He's got a real connection with Jalen Hurts. Zach Ertz definitely does suck. He also says, I have CD, DK, McLaurin, London, etc. Okay. So that changes things a little bit. So really you have AJ Brown, CD Lamb, DK Metcalf, McLaurin. Yeah. I'm holding on to AJ Brown, man. Brown, like BTC mentions, Brown's got the better quarterback as well, which is key there. I like the fact that you'd be upgrading and getting TJ Hawkinson in this deal to upgrade from Zach Ertz, but let me know who all the other tight ends are on your waiver wire. I think you could probably find something better than Zach Ertz. But yeah, I'm holding on to AJ Brown. I think he's a top 5 receiver rest of the way. And again, some people won't agree with that. Maybe have him outside the top 5. For me, he's a lock top 5 receiver. And I just don't think you're getting enough for him. I would want somebody else along with that trade, Super CNB Challengers. So I would want another guy involved in that trade along with, sorry, you're getting the Hawkinson and Olave trade. I understand that, but you'd have to drop somebody here too. I assume you drop Zach Ertz. Still sticking with AJ Brown. I'm doing enough rambling here. Give me the AJ Brown side. BTC says, pick up the kid from Oakland at tight end. Yeah, Michael Mayer. If you guys don't know the name, get to know the name. He is a stud tight end they drafted. I don't love the quarterback situation, obviously, with Jimmy Garoppolo now being hurt. I know he got taken to the hospital, so the quarterback situation is kind of a mess. But yeah, I like him a lot. And I think he has value the rest of the season. Again, I know we played New England, not the greatest of teams. But at the same time, too, he's a guy that I prefer over Zach Ertz, Super CNB Challenger. So again, drop Zach Ertz, go get Michael Mayer. I think he has a sweet matchup this week, too. And I think he outperforms Zach Ertz. So, yeah, he says Oakland. Really, it's Las Vegas. Sorry, I still call them the Oakland Raiders too. I refuse to call them Las Vegas, but whatever. Thank you guys for joining. I know we got 4 people left in the live chat. I'll stay on for a couple more minutes. If you guys have your last hurrahs here, drop your questions in the live chat, or else I am going to be hopping off and I'm going to get to dinner with my wife. So But if you have start sit questions, add waiver wire, add drop situations here too, let me know. Happy to help. I want to make sure that you guys get your guys. I know everybody probably waking up a Wednesday morning, 3:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, like I do, to see who we got. The other thing I want to mention real quick too, before I head off is, and I get this question a lot on Twitter. If you're not already doing so, make sure you follow me here at _ Mike VA. Always happy to answer your questions on Twitter as well. I get this question a lot. Sometimes the best move is no move at all, especially if you're improving on your waiver wire priority. So a lot of times, a lot of people are going to go add the flavor of the week, whether it's Mason, whether it's Zach Evans, whether it's, maybe Kareem Hunt, if he's available, whatever it may be. And especially if you're somebody who's just looking to add somebody just to add somebody, hang on to that waiver wire situation or that waiver wire spot and jump up, because that can help you out later in the year. That is a strategy that does not get talked enough about in this space. Improve your waiver wire priority. Don't go to the back of the line. Try to work your way to the front. So again, when more prevalent players, more high-skilled, high-profile players, backup, handcuffs, whatever it may be, come available, you're going to be first on the line to grab those guys. So not saying you should do that this week. It really depends on team contacts and your situation. But if, again, you have your set, and I know bye weeks are hell this week, but if you're able to and be able to afford plugging some guys in and not wasting your waiver wire spot, I don't think there's anybody that really pops off the page unless it's Elijah Mitchell that you need to go out and get. So improve your waiver wire priority. Have that as a strategy. Have that in your tool belt. Sometimes the best move is no move at all, or wait till waivers clear, see who everybody else dropped. Maybe you can get them for free. So Jamie says, Jerry Jeudy, are we dropping him before too long? Yeah, I'm not a big Jerry Jeudy guy. It's really, really disappointing too, because I love Jerry Jeudy coming out of Alabama. I actually preferred him over Jalen Waddle. I'm sorry, not over Jalen Waddle. Sorry, over Henry Ruggs in that draft. And Henry Ruggs, I know, had a huge fallout, obviously, with some off the field stuff. But I think Jerry Jeudy actually gets traded. I would be surprised if he doesn't end up somewhere. I know he's been rumored maybe to the Carolina Panthers, maybe the Chiefs, somebody who needs a receiver. I think Jerry Jeudy's time in Denver is coming to an end rather soon. So I think, BTC says Chiefs should trade for Jeudy ASAP. Yeah, I wouldn't hate that move at all. He's a talented wide receiver. I just don't like him in that offense with Russell Wilson and Sean Payton. I think they actually have a fire sale here pretty quick and start fresh with Sean Payton as their head coach. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to drop him quite yet, but it really depends on who you're dropping him for. So, Jamie says, this is the week where you try not to pick up anyone. It's very limited. Yeah. Again, I think that's a strategy that doesn't get talked about enough in fantasy football. Not picking up somebody and improving your waiver priority is just as good, if not better, than some of these guys that are on the waiver wire. So, especially if you're only filling, especially if you're only using them for a 1 week fill in while some of these guys are on bye, right? So again, if you have guys that you can put in place to fill a roster, obviously, now, does it mean that you're probably going to be eating a loss? Who the hell knows? Maybe. But at the same time, too, your bench should be deep enough where you can plug and chug and get by this week. So, again, there's nobody that really pops off the page here unless you play in a shallow format or something along those lines. But in 12-team leagues, 10-team leagues, there's not really anybody I'm rushing to the wire to go get. So, including all of the guys we mentioned in tonight's show. So, yeah, BTC says Chiefs should trade for Jeudy ASAP. I agree with that. Denver needs to. They have no picks. LOL. Yeah, exactly. Trade everyone. 5 picks between Russ and Sean Payton wasted. Yeah, I agree with that, man. It's clear that Sean Payton doesn't like Russell Wilson. I don't think he's their guy. I'd be surprised if watch out for Denver in this year's draft. I think they're going to try to do whatever the hell they can to move up in that draft and get a quarterback. So. Mr. Grapefruit, no thoughts on my trade. Oh, sorry, man. Sorry, I missed your question. Bring that up right now. Thoughts on this trade offer I sent out. My Marquise Brown for his Jerome Ford, PPR. Ooh, that is a good one. Again, I hate being this guy. Anybody who knows me, I always prefer to know the team context and what the rest of your team looks like. I know that's an annoying answer to your question, but if you're asking me in a vacuum, which I hate doing if I'm making this deal, oh, man, this is a tough one. Kareem Hunt is going to be getting more and more comfortable and getting his legs underneath him. So I do think we see some more Kareem Hunt as the season progresses. But Jerome Ford is the guy they like between the tackles and on first and second down here. I got to be honest with you guys. I'm not a Marquise Brown or anybody on the Cardinals fan. I think Joshua Dobbs has been a nice story this year, but I think this is going to turn into a Cinderella pumpkin situation here rather soon. He's the clear-cut number one receiver in that offense. I know he caught a touchdown on Sunday as well. It depends on what the rest of your team looks like, really, Mr. Grapefruit. But in a vacuum, I'm probably making this trade. I prefer Jerome Ford. In PPR, though, it does throw a little bit of a wrench into it because Marquise Brown obviously is going to be more of the pass-catching back. And like you alluded to, right, I just figure Brown with a 10-plus targets a week might be worth something. It is. I just don't trust the Cardinals offense. I know they've been a surprise team this year. I just don't trust it. If Kyler comes back, yeah, I like this trade a lot. And I know he's seeing all the targets, which is great, but targets is one thing. Production is another, right? Seeing targets, one thing, like I said, and same thing with running backs. If you're getting the volume, you're not doing shit with it. It doesn't really matter how much volume you're getting. So he says Ford guy has, okay, I assume you're talking about the other team. Ford guy has Aaron Jones, Mostert, Swift, has Keenan and Amon-Ra, but no rock solid wide receiver 3. Okay. I have Pollard on bye, Kyron out, Tajay Spears on bye. I only have Ramondre this week. Okay. So that changes things. Yeah. So I like this trade. If you're going to get Jerome Ford, let me go back to your question here. Sorry. Just so I can bring it back up. My Marquise Brown. Yeah. Again, if you need a running back this week, I like this deal. Get Jerome Ford. That way you can plug him into your lineup for this week. So he also says someone turned down my CeeDee Lamb for Isaiah Pacheco. Freaking crazy. Yeah, that is pretty crazy. I'm not looking. I know Michael loves CeeDee Lamb. If you guys were here earlier in the show, Michael likes CeeDee Lamb as his wide receiver 2, meaning the second best receiver only behind Tyreek Hill. I'm not super high on CeeDee Lamb as Michael is. He's definitely a top 10 receiver, but he's probably towards the 6, 7, 8 range for me. Just don't trust Dak, and I don't trust Mike McCarthy. Immense upside. I just don't trust that team. So Dallas in general is a mess. So I understand trying to trade CeeDee Lamb, but I actually try to see if you can trade him to another owner there, Mr. Grapefruit, and see if you can trade CeeDee Lamb for another higher level running back. I think you can get more for him. I know Pacheco's been good, but I think you can target somebody else that you can get maybe as a top 10 running back because you're trading a top 10 receiver. So, and CeeDee Lamb. All right. That's going to be it for me, guys. If you're not already doing so, make sure you follow me here at Mike Virginia on Twitter, _Mike Virginia, Mike VA. Happy to answer your questions there. The Discord link is in the description. Patreon starts at $3. I think the YouTube channel, again, has been growing over the past couple of weeks / months from baseball into football. So we appreciate the support. We love you guys. Make sure you guys check us out. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday. Michael and I are both out of town, so we will not be doing a Sunday show. But in the meantime, get in the Discord. Ask your questions there for your start sit. We have plenty of people who are willing to help. A lot of great minds in the fantasy football space. And then we're also available on Twitter if you need us. Michael's at MJ Govier. I'm at _Mike VA. Happy to help. Thank you guys very much for attending tonight's show. Appreciate all the questions. You guys killed it in the live chat today. It was phenomenal. Again, check us out. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Fucking Roethlisberger, the quarterback, was all fucking hug it, chug it, football. All